turning 28 today feels like I'm continuing on a path I started, not necessarily like I'm opening a new chapter, but really digging into what I'm doing and why I'm here. So more of that to come. Today I turned 28 and there's some stuff I want to share with you. Happy birthday to me. But I want to review a little bit of last year and also tell you where I am right now. So my big three takeaways from being 27, I guess, is that number one, I need and will visualize what result I want. And I'll visualize every detail and create a beautiful world around it. That's why my birthday show was so successful. Number two, consult no one for permission or authority. I think I want somebody to tell me, hey, it's okay, hey, do this, hey, try that, hey, I think you should. Nobody's gonna ask, nobody's gonna give you permission, nobody's really thinking about you, you know? Nobody's really thinking about me. It's just a matter of what will you do? What will I do? And when I take action, then the ripple effects happen, you know? Takeaway number three, only take action that's leading toward goals. My goals are really around connection and career, and things that aren't leading me closer to that goal of connecting with myself, connecting with others, or taking goals in my career, those really aren't probably the steps I need to be taking, you know, because those are the things that I'm working on right now. As you know, on this channel, there's nothing crazy consistent. I'm not doing reviews, unboxing. I really am genuinely trying to share my life with those who want to share their life with me. I'm not prescribing anything, but I am trying to document and dialogue about what's going on. I'm going to talk about what I learned last year, and I've got every month broken down for you with amazing things that happened you may not know about. And in addition to that, I'm going to share my intentions, my expectations for how we can interact, and then also what I'm looking out for this year. January, I had the best show I've ever played. It was my birthday show, and I put together great people, great art, great drinks, and I played about an hour and a half of music for 30 of my friends, and it was a wonderful experience. I think everybody who went had a good time, and looking forward to collaborating like that again with people in the future. And it definitely set a standard for me on what I can visualize and go create and realize. February was awesome. I went to the mountains and hiked with about 10 of my friends, and it showed me what's possible in a friend group. My close friends Fred and Caroline had really nurtured that group to get where it was, so us going on a hike together was really fun and rewarding, but it's the same kind of work I need to do to cultivate a circle like that around me, and that's what stuck out. March was interesting. I put up a shelf, 2 shelves in my room actually, that now hold a plant. I started an OnlyFans. Shout out to everybody who followed me on my first OnlyFans account. I finally got to wear masks in public. As some of you know, I tried to wear a mask a little bit before because the smog was pretty bad. Air quality, if you look, the air quality is not great here in general. So when we finally started wearing masks as a preventative thing, like, hey, there might be a virus out there, it was really, I was stoked on that because it's just better for everybody. In April, LA fully shut down, and it was fascinating because nobody was really out. And for Los Angeles, as you know, it's pretty unusual. Even though the nights are pretty sleepy, days are really, really bustling, and for days to just have absolutely nothing happen, it was pretty eerie for a while. A couple good things that happened for me was that I realized I'm a good photographer, and I could take confidence in taking a photo and saying, hey, this is what it is. When you see so much, actually, I don't think I could have a good excuse, but just boldness and confidence in saying, yep, this is what it is. Look, this is it. And not feeling like you have to comment so much on the subjective nature of it. You know, I think that's important to realize. Like, if you're an artist, you make the art and the people can determine if it's good. It doesn't make any sense for you to determine if it's good so that you can market it or sell it. And I think for music, that's a really big hurdle that I've been slowly, I guess in slow motion, jumping over. In May, I would say most formative father figure in recent years passed away. He was my trumpet teacher for a few years, and really, he's the reason I studied trumpet in college. He passed away last year, and it made no sense because he's super strong in his 50s, really at what seemed like the peak of his life. So that hit really hard. It made me think a whole lot about life and what he meant to me. In May, I also went to my brother's birthday in Texas. Masked up, went out there. He rented an Airbnb. Whole week was competition. It was so fun. We played all kinds of games, and our team eventually won. And we had a really good time celebrating his birthday. And also, of course, George Floyd got murdered for being accused of passing a counterfeit bill in Minneapolis of $20. June was really intense. I was in the streets quite a bit and documenting a lot of the protests that I was a part of, because the police violence against the protesters is pretty unbelievable until you're really there. I was standing there, and all of a sudden things will just fall and there's gas coming out of them, and immediately your eyes just go and they just well up and they burn so badly that you actually think for a second you won't be able to open them, because it's so hard to like open your eyes when there's tear gas in there. But there are people there ready with milk and water to wash people's eyes out once we got some distance. So June was really intense. I'm really grateful to be where I am and to have been a part of a lot of the protests. July was pretty amazing. I released a single called Every Color, and I got to go to Palm Springs. My brother and sister-in-law and nephew took me out there. Let me know if you want to hear a video about that. Just kidding. It was really relaxing, and got to connect with Ezra, my older brother, who's now just a dad, a full-on dad, killing it, doing great. They took me there, and I had a phenomenal time. I love them. In August, I released my most recent album, Manifest Singularity, and it was interesting. I didn't really market it very hard, but I did want it to come out the way that it did, and I finally kind of had to accept that I wanted it to be, it's not that I want to be contrarian or obtruse for no reason at all, but there are some limits I have in my engineering skills that make it seem like that. That being said, it was really important for me to release that and move on. And I also canceled my OnlyFans. And gotta say, looking back, it tells me more about me that I canceled it than that I started it. The way that I canceled it because somebody else was judgmental. Yeah, I was just far too open. So anyway, that got canceled. That was August. September, I started making collages. I also put huge boundaries on 2 relationships. That was a big move for me. I'm still super proud of myself for standing my ground and being respectful and yet dignified, and still hardcore though about the boundaries. October, I shot my friend Robin's Mercedes behind the scenes. My brother Ezra was shooting this beautiful piece for him on these engine mounts. I captured a behind the scenes video, super fun. It's on that channel as well. And I began working on my business, not just in my business. So Gentle Media Creative is now something I'm actively promoting and pursuing work through and for EzekielGentle.com/consult. And that's a free 30-minute consultation that I offer to help you get inspired to take your action. It doesn't have to be with me. It honestly does not have to be you paying for a $500 landing page. Seriously, I want to give a 30-minute free consultation because you can get so much done in 30 minutes. In November, I would say I peaked in personal conflict in person when people basically would approach me not wearing a mask, or would laugh when I told them they couldn't eat around me and in the environment where we were. And it just showed me that I don't think most people have or are doing the work. They're doing the best they can, right? I don't have to take responsibility for that though, and I can hold to my boundaries. So that's what I had to do in a pretty hardcore way. The point is I just learned a lot of resilience and boundary setting and directing others. That leads us to December 2020. I went to the mountains in the cabin with my family. It was beautiful. Got to hang out with them, be in the hot tub, and I had a lot of fun. We also peaked in personal conflict. So the skills I had learned earlier that year, I was able to apply, stay calm and confident, and yeah, also get my point across. And I think because of that, I was able to keep my own energy balanced instead of being triggered. And it felt really good to observe that, because I could even feel like my body wanting to be triggered. I was like, don't feel attacked, don't feel attacked. But instead, I just took my time, I breathed, really slowly, I listened, and then I responded, right? So I'm gonna interact with somebody based on my judgment of the safety in our relationship. No different with family. So yeah, that brings us up to January. One thing I didn't share is in the middle of last summer, I did have a major breakdown at work, and I really didn't commit to getting things done. And I had a real conversation with one of my managers, and I realized I'm not being real with people because I'm not being real with myself. So what I'm committing to is being real with myself. And if I'm not going to do something, or if I disagree with something, don't take it as a personal affront, okay? It's going to be diplomatic and respectful, but it's going to be direct. And that's just the way that I found life to work the best for me, is when I can be direct with others. They know what I'm expecting, and I know what they're expecting. So you can expect that from me this year. I know this was so heavy, so dense, but I do want to share the baristashow.com and detailjournal.com in another video and show you what I've been working on. So hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for watching this video, and share with a friend if you enjoyed something. Let them know what you enjoyed about it. Talk to you soon.